What's up, everyone? This is the Lucas Ross Sports Channel, and it is time to give you my 2023 College Football Playoff National Championship game prediction between the TCU Horned Frogs and the Georgia Bulldogs. And it is official. The 2023 National Championship game is going to be on Monday, January the 9th. It's time now to take my official prediction for the last game of the 2022/23 college football season. And again, how this video works, I basically just give you some stats between the two teams, give you a team comparison of the stats, and then I also give you the game summary, what the FBI, who they favoring in this game, and also give you the game format, who's favorite going into this game, and also what the game's time is going to be and where the location will be as well. And then I'll give you a prediction at the end of this video, also give you a score prediction as well. So that's how the video works. So let's just jump right into it here with our 2023 College Football Playoff National Championship game prediction here between the TCU Horned Frogs and the Georgia Bulldogs. So we'll start with the stats here between the two teams. We'll start with TCU stats first. TCU averaging about 269.6 yards on the passing game. Max Duggan showing us that he can get it done. Of course, one of the most quarterbacks that, have had a tough year. And then, of course, he comes into this game, leading this TCU team, of course, to an undefeated Big 12 regular season. And then losing the Big 12 championship, but he leads them there. And now he has led this team a win over Michigan. And now he has led this team to the national championship. So, yeah, Max Duggan has led this TCU team pretty much all season. I mean, the passing yards are pretty good for him. He was a Heisman finalist. So, and you look at the quarterbacks here in this game, they're both pretty, similar as well. Veteran experience type quarterbacks. You look at the running game for TCU, they average about 204.5 yards on the ground. They got, a really good tailback of Keandre Miller, a junior this year. He's had some pretty good numbers on the year. So, I mean, he's going to have to run the football pretty well in this game. I know there's been, kind of like a status with him for the championship game, and, he's been kind of, injured. He got a little bit hurt in that Michigan game, but if he stays healthy in this one, he's going to help out this TCU running game pretty well. You look at the points per game for this TCU team, they're averaging about 41.1 points per game. So they got an advantage there over Georgia in the points per game, but that does not really matter because both offenses are good. And this TCU team is averaging about 474.1 yards of total offense. So this team continues to get it done on the offensive side of the ball. And their offense and defensively in the rankings, offensively, you look at them, they're 13th in the country. So, yeah, this is a better TCU offense than it was last year. And look at the defense here. They're ranked 78th. That defense, though, continues to shine. We saw that in the Michigan game. They were starting to play like a really good playoff team. And they started to look like that TCU defense that, we thought they would be. Probably this season. But, there was a lot of questions about TCU's defense heading into this season, but instead they are now into this position to have a really good chance to win the national championship. It's going to come down to their defense, I believe, as well for this TCU team, but those are the stats there for this TCU team. Looking at Georgia now, one of the most dominant teams in the country and also the dominant team in the SEC. They're also undefeated. Passing yards, 293 yards of passing. No surprise there. Stetson Bennett continues to be a good quarterback. And like I said yesterday, I think Stetson Bennett is pretty much one of the top quarterbacks in Georgia history. I know people don't really like him a lot, but, I think he's a great quarterback. I think he has a really bright future, maybe for the NFL, maybe perhaps, maybe doesn't get a bright future in there, but he's definitely one of my, favorite quarterbacks in Georgia history. So, and obviously a tough quarterback as well. He's led this team to the national championship last year. Now he's got a chance to do it again in back-to-back years. You look at the rushing yards for this Georgia team, 201.9 yards on the ground, so both teams can run the football, and they have some really talented backs. And again, Kenny McIntosh is the leading rusher for Georgia. He can get it done there. He's going to have to be a playmaker, like I said in my 5 reasons video for Georgia about a couple days ago. And this team is averaging 39.4 points per game. It may not be a lot for, they might be behind TCU, but this is overall is still a really good offense for Georgia. They're averaging a lot of total yards of offense as well per game. 494.9 yards of total offense. and this Georgia team continues to get it done in the offensive side of the ball. I'm just saying this Georgia offense is much better than it was last year. They're scoring more points, and they got a really big shot to score a lot of points in this game as well. But I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game. I think it will be. I think the Georgia offense will probably get stopped there on the offensive side of the ball. Looking at their rankings, though, on the offense and defensive side of the ball, they're 8th on the offense, and then defensively they're 11th. So, yeah, they're pretty much in the top 15 in every category. So, Georgia, obviously, one of the most talented teams in the country this year. Looking at these stats here between the two teams, the passing yards are pretty good between the two comparisons of the quarterbacks. The running game is pretty even. Points per game, TCU leads that category, and then Georgia leads the total yards of, the category there. But you look at the offense and defensive rankings here, the difference is that TCU's defense is not that good, but they were so good last weekend. I think they have a shot to really stop this Georgia offense from scoring a lot of points. So those are the stats from the 2022 season for both TCU and Georgia. Let's go to the game summary now. So we got TCU, they're 13-1 heading into this one. Georgia's 14-0. Have a chance to go undefeated to end out the season. And it would be a big thing for this Georgia team if they finish undefeated. But how about TCU? Don't count them out. They have a really big shot to win the national championship. I really think they can keep close with this Georgia team. This game will be at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, so I think it's home of the Raiders, perhaps some other NFL team, but this game is at 7:30. It's kind of like an early game, to be honest, for a national championship. I thought this one would probably be at 8 o'clock Eastern time, or maybe 8:30, or maybe 9 o'clock, but instead it's at 7:30, so that's a really good time to watch it. This game will be on ESPN. Obviously, it's obviously on ESPN because of the national championship. Georgia's favored by 12.5 points per game. 12.5 favorite going into this game, I should say, and the over and under is at 62.5. If you look at the FBI is giving Georgia a big advantage to win this game. Bigger chance, also a big percent chance to win it as well. They have a 72% chance to win this game by the FBI, close to 73%. And they're only giving TCU a 27% chance to win this game. So they're counting TCU as a low, maybe like a close underdog, but, not like a big underdog, just like a little underdog. But I think this TCU team has a really big shot. I really think they can keep this game close, and I think it will be pretty much, a really close game throughout the rest of the way. But like I said, Georgia's got a chance to finish undefeated at 15-0, and then TCU's got a chance to win it here by being the underdog and also going 14-1 in the season. Of course, that one loss came in the Big 12 championship. That's behind them now. Now they're playing for the national championship. And I think the national championship is more bigger than the Big 12, let's be honest. So, all right, let's make our prediction now. So we got TCU 13-1 facing Georgia here, 14-0 for the national championship. And it is the last game of the college football season. Before we head into the offseason and obviously spring practice and everything, we got one more game to go, and that's Georgia and TCU. How do I think the game's going to go down? Well, I think it's going to come down to that first half. I think who can score the most points in that first half is going to pretty much have an advantage heading into the second half. I think it's going to be probably a low-scoring game heading into halftime. Maybe it's knotted at 10-10. And they start to pick up the offense in the second half, and I think both teams start to get really things going on the offensive side of the ball. But I gotta tell you, looking at, Georgia here, I know they're undefeated, they are the big favorites, but I think it should be lesser than that. I don't think Georgia should be favored by double digits. I think they should be favored just by about a field goal. And with that being said, what the field goal is gonna really come down to, and I think that team that comes out to be victorious in this 2023 national champions, and also they will be the champions of college football. Not saying they're going to, but this is my official prediction. I'm going to pick TCU here with the upset. I'm going to go with TCU here to pull off the upset against Georgia. I think they get it done. I think they get their first national championship since 1938, and that is huge. I mean, I don't think anybody saw this coming. I know Georgia fans probably won't agree with that. But let's be honest, it's going to be a close game. It is not going to be an easy game for Georgia. I really don't see it being a blowout. I really don't see any reason how TCU is, not like an underdog in this one, like a heavy underdog, but I'm not saying that they are, a bad team. I think TCU, with that win over Michigan, it gets them motivated, and they will bring their game to Georgia. I think it's a low-scoring game compared to the two semifinal games, though. I got them winning this one 31-27. I think I got like TCU getting a last-second touchdown, perhaps in the fourth quarter, or maybe the defense starts to shine in there. But I'm going to pick TCU to win the national championship. I don't think anybody will agree with that, but I think, TCU fans would be happy with that as well. But I really like the confidence of this TCU team, and I also like the confidence in Max Duggan and everything. So that's my official prediction for the 2023 National Championship game. Let me guys know what you think, and also give me your thoughts down in the comments below. Who do you think will win the National Championship? And also give your score prediction as well. And, of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new and get the views up as well. And stay tuned here for more on the Lucas Ross Sports Channel.